Hey, what's going on, guys? You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels, and if you are an e-commerce seller, or if you take PayPal for really anything, if you run some type of service business, if you're a graphic designer, if you sell items online and you accept PayPal, you're going to want to pay attention to this. PayPal fees are going up in August. It's going from 2.9% as far as the percentage of the transaction, plus 30 cents per transaction. They're raising it to 50 cents per transaction, and I believe it's 3.49%. So basically, you're going to be paying like a 0.5% more, which is pretty substantial. But on top of that, instead of paying 30 cents per transaction, you're going to pay 50 cents per transaction. Now, if you sell higher ticket items, that per transaction fee doesn't matter quite as much. But if you sell cheaper items, right, if you're selling phone chargers, phone cases, if you're selling some type of item that's like $9.95 or $10, 50 cents per transaction fee. I mean, it's 5% right there. 5% plus you're taking another 3.5%. That's 8.5% right off the top. So, what might you want to consider doing? We're going to get into this article and kind of explain the fees in a moment here. But what might you want to do if you're somebody who only takes PayPal, or who even takes PayPal as a secondary payment option to something else? You may want to consider finding a lower cost merchant processor. I know a lot of people do Stripe, a lot of people do PayPal because it's easy to get set up. You can normally get set up and start taking payments in 1 or 2 clicks. You don't have to fill out a formal application. There's no monthly fees. It's a little bit simpler than getting a quote unquote true merchant account like you might get from your bank with a Vantiv or a First Data or something like that. But you're also going to be paying substantially more. I believe interchange is 1.5%. In rare cases, people can actually get interchange. Normally, you're going to pay a little bit over it. But if you get your own merchant account, instead of paying 3.49% with PayPal, there's a very good likelihood you could pay 1.75%, 1.8%. So you could save yourself a considerable amount of money. I will link down below. It is an affiliate link, but I will link down below to a merchant provider that I've used a lot in the past. They do handle some high risk stuff like vapes and crypto and some other categories like that, weed paraphernalia. But they're also substantially cheaper. I've always been able to get rates, assuming it's not high risk, I've always been able to get rates under 2%. And, if you do a fair amount of business, that money starts adding up. Like, I don't think doing $50,000 in sales is like a huge amount of business, right? That's a pretty small business. Like, I think there's probably a number of you guys out there doing $50,000 in sales a month. If you can save yourself even 1% on $50,000 a month, that's $500 more in your pocket every month that you're not paying in merchant processing fees. So I definitely encourage everybody to look into getting a true merchant processor if right now you're only accepting PayPal, especially if you're doing even over 10 grand a month in sales. You're going to wind up saving yourself quite a bit of money, even if you do wind up having to pay $18 or $20 for a payment gateway or in order to get a merchant account set up. Again, if you're doing any volume, your savings are going to add up to quite a bit more than that. So this article comes to us from Android Police. PayPal fees are going up in August, especially for cheaper items. And the article starts out by saying Venmo isn't the only digital payment platform that wants a bigger slice of the pie. I actually wasn't aware that Venmo was changing their fees. Its owner PayPal is getting in on the action as well, with a widespread change of its rates set to go into effect August 2nd. Barring a few small adjustments to currency exchange and charity rates, almost all of these are increases in processing fees. Most notably, the standard PayPal checkout merchant fee will increase from 30 cents plus 2.9% to 49 cents plus 3.49%. That's going to mean a pretty noticeable dip in profit for sellers, who will invariably pass the charges along to consumers in general. Since a flat rate charge is jumping by almost 40%, the change will disproportionately affect cheaper items and services. A bit of napkin math: a $10 phone case purchase with PayPal will go from a 59-cent processing fee to an 84% processing fee, jumping from 5.9% to 8.4%. We already kind of did that math for you. A $500 phone purchase will go from a $14.80 fee to a $17.94 fee, a shift from 2.96% to 3.58%. As a result, you may see more merchants drop PayPal as a payment option, especially if they get the bulk of their sales from cheaper items. In-person payments made with a QR code jump to 1.9% plus 10 cents for more than $10, with an even costlier 2.4% rate at beneath $10. Credit card payments processed by PayPal online and 2.59% plus 40 cents and credit card payments in person, including Google Pay, go to 2.29% plus 9 cents. For a general guide on increasing the fees, check here. So I'll link to where you guys can check the new PayPal fees. This definitely kind of stinks for merchants. I'm not sure if this is part of a wider, price raise where we're going to see all merchants start raising their fees, or if it's just PayPal. It looks like it's just PayPal for now. Those of you guys who accept PayPal for your business, are you going to continue accepting PayPal? Is this enough to make you change? And if you are somebody who's going to change, let me know what the average ticket or average price, average purchase from your business is, because again, this is going to affect people who sell smaller ticket items. But would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Drop a comment down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button below. Ring the bell, all that good YouTube jazz, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.